Welcome to the inaugural tasting of Wine Times. We're in a beautiful setting on the Shannon, here in the Olive Grove restaurant in Athlone, a superb setting. We've had a great meeting today, and this is the very first time that the group have got together to have a taste of the range that we're going to talk about. May I introduce Siobhan Gibney, who's one of the Wine Times experts. Siobhan, what are the wine you're looking at the moment?
Well, Barry, this is a range from Cartaviejo in Chile. We bring in, as I say, a range from this particular producer. It's labelled specifically for ourselves. It's known as the G7 range. G7 standing for 7th generation. They're a family-owned winery, and I suppose the ethos for us was on the strength of our own family surname and being 7 generations in the business. We felt that this was sort of very, very appropriate for us, based on the quality and the character of the wine. So I've got in my hand the G7 Sauvignon Blanc. It's 2010 vintage. It comes from the region, the Locumilla region in Chile, which is very, very close to the Mall Valley. Probably the consumer will recognise that more so. And
tell me about Gibney's. What area will you be covering for Wine Times?
We'll be covering, we're delighted to be involved with this new project. I think it's very, very exciting, and I think it's extremely dynamic, and I think it's very, very forward thinking. We're going to be covering the North Dublin region down into Louth and then along the border counties.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thanks Siobhan, and hope you enjoyed the tasting this evening.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks very much.
Now I'd love to introduce you to Frank Kineen, who is based in Galway, and Frank is another one of the Wine Times experts. Frank, what wine have you got to show us this evening?
We've a little New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc from Marlborough. It's a private label that we have from Macca Springs. It's harvested on their 176-acre farm. Lovely little Sauvignon, lovely gooseberry, melon kind of nose, and lovely and crisp and dry on the finish, which is typical of Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc. Yeah.
Super, super. Tell me what areas the vineyard will be covering for the Wine Times.
We're covering Connacht and Ulster, basically. That would be our area.
Super, super. Enjoy the tasting, Frank. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Delighted to introduce you to another one of the wine experts from Wine Times, Gary O'Donovan, who's based in Cork. Welcome, Gary.
Thanks very much, Barry.
What wine are you going to talk to us about now?
I'm going to briefly discuss Shadow Delaning, which is owned by an Irishman, Terry Cross, based in Belfast. They're Delta Packaging. Terry has this property for about 10 years or more now. Has invested a lot of money, a lot of time and effort into it, and is reaping the rewards of the 2006 vintage, which is drinking really well.
Super wine for maybe St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day, classic kind of, Christmas times of year, anniversaries, etc. Great style, old style bottle, old style claret, but with seriously good structure. So.
Tell me about your involvement with Wine Times. What areas in the country will you be covering?
Yeah, I'm going to be covering the largest province in the country, Munster, and for my troubles. And he's from Munster, obviously. and so we'll be covering obviously Cork, where I'm based, in Cork City, Waterford, Limerick, Clare, etc.
Well, Gary, hope you enjoy the tasting, and great to have you on board. Thanks. The wine tasting progresses, and now I'm introducing you to another great friend and another of the wine experts from Wine Times, Jim McCabe. Jim, what wine do you have to show us this evening?
Good evening, Barry. Well, I have Chateau Soussac, which is from Nell Liberty Stewart, who's Irish and has a new chateau over in Bordeaux, and it's a really lovely wine.
And which area in the country will McCabe's be covering for the new website?
We're covering South Dublin, and delighted also to be covering Kildare, because being from Armagh, we have the Kieran McGeaney influence.
Excellent. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tasting, Jim, and we'll go back to business and some hard work.